Welcome boys and girls from YouTube. My name is Sloth, this is the SlothForge, and thanks for stopping by on today's video. Now today I want to showcase you just real quick the teams that I'm going to use for the endgame content for the Resurgent Dragon, and then I also want to show you two extremely free-to-play friendly teams that every one of you should be able to rebuild those teams, and those teams will be able to reach the 200 million mark as well. So those teams perform quite good actually. I did not expect those teams to perform so good. But now let's get into this. And first, I want to showcase you the teams that I'm going to use. So those are not the most free-to-play friendly teams. And yet I think it is relatively useful for most people out there, for most of you out there, to see the teams that I'm using, because then you can try to copy the strategies, just copy the ideas behind those teams. And I hope that it helps a little bit at least. So first, this team, and this is by far the most straightforward team. It is honestly just my Vortex team with one little adjustment. So it actually are the exact same skill timings as well as I'm using on my Vortex team. But as I said, there is one little adjustment. It is Adolphus. He now has the Tundra Tenacity set. And just as a real quick note in general, especially the last couple of videos, got a lot of very good feedback, some very good tips, and one person recommended to use the Tundra Tenacity set for the Resurgent Dragon, because every single time the hero that is wearing the Tundra Tenacity set, every single time he gets damage, he gets 1% of ultimate energy. So this will trigger the passive skill, or those Power of Dragon Rage skills. It will, every single time that your hero in the Tundra Tenacity set gets damage, it will remove one of those Power of Dragon Rage stacks. So you will delete those stacks within seconds. So the Tundra Tenacity set is so extremely strong. So just in general, it is always worth to look up the comments really quick of those videos, especially if there are some so groundbreaking tips like using the Tundra Tenacity set. I will add a pinned comment in the comment section, so you only have to read the first one comment, and there I will give you some additional tips if I got those tips after I released the video. So just in general, it is always worth it to look up the comments real quick, at least the pinned comment, because sometimes there are some very useful information, like for example the Tundra Tenacity set. Such a good tip, and once again I'm very grateful for all your feedback, because it helps so much to improve those teams, just to improve the content in general. Also, just a real quick note, a lot of you commented that my sound is a little bit too quiet, and I have to apologize for this. I made some sound setting adjustments, and well, now I'm a little bit quieter, and I'm very sorry about this. I will fix this. I will try to fix this ASAP. I tried to fix it yesterday, but I was not able to find the problem. But I'm very confident today a friend of mine will help me, and I will fix the sound settings. So hopefully from tomorrow on, the sound will be perfectly fine once again. But now let's get back into the topic. Let's talk about those teams. And the first team that I'm going to show you, as I said, is this wild team, which is pretty much just a copy of my Vortex team with one adjustment: Adolphus in the Tundra Tenacity set, because this set is extremely strong for the Resurgent Dragon. And that's it pretty much. Now let me show you the skill timings once again really quick, so you can copy those skill timings. Now this team does around 310 million damage, but it is a wild team. I only run this team like 3 or 4 times. So if you know wild, you know that it's full of RNG. So I'm very confident that this team will at least do 10 to 20 million more damage, and I will try to adjust those teams more, and I'm very confident that in the next couple of days I will improve all the teams that I'm going to show you now. So stay tuned for future updates of those teams. Well, now let's get into the other teams. This was the wild team. Now the second team is a Dauntless team, and it is also very straightforward. It is actually the same team that I've been using for the Continental Challenge as well, once again with some small adjustments. And the main adjustment here, once again as always, is Nathaniel. Nathaniel in the Tundra Tenacity set, and you should try to copy the placings here as well, the positioning, because we want to maximize Nathaniel's usage, and his battle skill, it is only around him, so you want ideally all heroes to be into his area of his battle skill. So this is why I would recommend to use this positioning here. And this team as well is able to do around 310 million damage. Those are the skill timings. So nothing special here at all. I'm sorry. And yeah, nothing special here. Actually, just to mention this for clarification, this team, I got the idea for this team once again from Live and Arrow, and I'm sure once again did not pronounce his name correctly, but I will put a link to his YouTube channel in the comments below, or in the description actually below. So you should absolutely look up his teams, his channel in general, because he has very good content, very useful short videos of the team that he showcases, but he mentions everything important, so highly recommend to look up his channel as well. So this is the Dauntless team. Around 310 million damage. When it comes to Dauntless, there's actually not that much RNG, which is pretty fine actually. And let me show you the heroes as well real quick, just so you have an idea of how their stats look like. On Nathaniel, of course, we want as much enlightenment as possible while also providing a lot of defensive stats. And just so I have shown you everything, let me show you the wild team as well, the stats real quick. So you have an idea here as well. My Flora now is a little bit better than she used to, and still there is a lot of room for improvement. This was the wild team and the Dauntless team. Now next is my poison team. And when it comes to the poison team, please take this with a grain of salt. As you can see, it only did about 225 million, which is by far not enough. I'm absolutely not happy with the results yet. There is a lot of room for improvement, I'm absolutely sure about this. And I have to be honest with you, I did not test around with this team for more than a couple of minutes, because there are so many teams I had to try around with a little bit. And there definitely is a lot of room to improve this team. So this is just a general idea of this team. Please take this with a grain of salt. I'm absolutely sure that there is way more room for improvement in this team. Just as you can see, the Twitch, he is not built properly. He has way too less enlightenment. He right now is using the Witch Remains, and ideally I want someone else in this team to use the Witch Remains. So I will probably either try Sloth with the Witch Remains, or maybe someone else instead of Mikana. Maybe I will try someone else for Corrin. So take this team with a grain of salt. There will definitely be an upgraded version of this team. Now the next team is my rally team. This team performed better than I thought it will perform. As you just saw here, it's like 275 million. I've only run this team for like 3 or 4 runs as well, but it was always around this number, plus minus 5 million, because there is not so much RNG when it comes to rally, even though there is a little bit of RNG, of course. And just to showcase you the stats once again real quick, it is actually pretty much the same team that I've been using for Continental Challenge as well. And yes, I'm using Mithrasia in this team, but she is not mandatory. You could use Gillian instead, and Gillian will do what Mithrasia does just as good, because in this team I don't have to revive a hero. Sometimes in the last 30 seconds Filto dies or Hubert dies, but normally I don't have to revive anyone in this team with this setup and those stats. So you can absolutely use Gillian or Asilia instead of Mithrasia for this team. One quick tip, just in general, a general tip, the combination of the Gatekeeper's Staff and the Skycode Treaty set is so strong here as well. Now, there are those two sets. First is the Tundra Tenacity set, which I would highly recommend to always use one hero with the Skycode Tenacity set, sorry, with the Tundra Tenacity set, because it just helps you to remove those stacks, those Dragon Rage stacks, as soon as possible. And then the second combination I would always recommend is to use the Gatekeeper's Staff and the Skycode Treaty set in combination on your healer, because it will help you to remove all those annoying attack penalty debuffs, because the attack penalty that the boss places is up for 30 seconds. This is way too long. We don't want to have attack penalty for actually the whole fight, and the easiest way to remove those buffs, those debuffs, is just use the Gatekeeper Staff. So you place those small shields, and then thanks to the Skycode Treaty set, you can use those shields to remove the attack penalty debuff. So extremely nice combination, would highly recommend to use this. Now the next team, and this is actually my final team. Right now I'm only using 5 teams, not 6 teams, but because I'm not sure what is the 6th team that I want to use. So only 5 teams that I'm showcasing you right now, or main teams of course, because overall I'm showcasing you 7 teams. And this is the summon team that I'm using right now. It does around 425 million. There is as well a lot of RNG because it highly depends on the burst damage that you can do before you reach the 200 million mark. And it is just exactly the same like it was with the Continental Challenge as well. We have this damage fall-off effect, as you can see here. So we want to burst right before the 200 million mark. So there is a lot of RNG in this summon team as well. This also is for wild teams, very important. And just to mention this as well, this is also not my team. I got this team from Hisoka on Fire, and I will put a link to his channel in the comments below as well. I just made some small adjustments because it worked a little bit better for me. I'm using the Tundra Tenacity set as well, while he has been using the Ancestral Protection set on his Ursulas. And also, I'm using an 18 seconds recast timer instead of a 19 seconds recast timer. And I can run an 18 seconds recast timer because thanks to the Tundra Tenacity set. But yeah, that's it pretty much. And one thing here to mention as well is the Prismatic Cloak. Now, we've been using the strategy on the Continental Challenge as well, and we can use the strategy now for the Resurgent Dragon also. This is a very nice strategy. We try to reflect some debuffs, and especially we want to reflect 2 debuffs. First, the burn debuffs just for a little bit more damage, and then mainly the attack penalty debuff that the Resurgent Dragon inflicts on us for 30 seconds. We can actually reflect this debuff, and then it is up on the Resurgent Dragon for 30 seconds. So this is a very nice strategy, but it is a lot of RNG involved here as well, because we only have a 50% chance of reflecting the attack penalty debuff back to the Resurgent Dragon. So there is a little bit of RNG here as well, because this team, it can only survive for like 6 minutes and 30 seconds, except if I'm lucky and I reflect the last 3 attack penalty debuffs, then this team and the whole team survives for the whole 8 minutes. So here is a lot of RNG involved, but it is absolutely worth it because you can do a lot of damage in those 90 seconds, in those final 90 seconds. So just run this fight a couple of times until all of your heroes survive until the end. Now let me show you the heroes once again real quick. And I already showed you skill timings, so I think that's it. Those are my 5 main teams right now. But as I said, especially the poison team needs a little bit of adjustment, and also I'm missing a 6th team, so I will have a look what is the 6th team that I will run. Now this is my first free-to-play team, and this team does 200 million damage. And the first very nice thing about this team is I'm not using any skill timings. It is full default, so all heroes are 100% default. Also, Drist is not screwed up as well, and they are not 100% talented up as well. So there is a lot of room for improvement, but it reaches the 200 million mark, and Therefore, I think it will reach a little bit more damage, but not much more damage. Now first let me show you the heroes real quick. And as you can see, I'm using the exclusive artifact for Drist, which helps a little bit. It is not mandatory. You will probably reach the 200 million mark without this artifact as well. You could just, in theory, use the crown, the legendary crown artifact, and it will probably work as good as the exclusive artifact as well. Even though the exclusive artifact, of course, is a little bit better, but in the end, it should work with both artifacts absolutely fine. And this is the team. And just to showcase you this real quick. As you can see now here, it does around 202 million damage. And it is always Vidimir and Rava who die a little bit early. So if I would be able to keep them alive for the whole time, there would be room for a little bit more damage. Also, I tried some different skill timings, but it felt like it were the exactly same results, so I kept them on default for now, just to show you that there is a lot of room for improvement. You can try to adjust them for yourself, so you can maximize your outcome with this team, but in general, just to show you, this team should be able to reach a 200 million mark, and also a little bit more. Though this is the first free-to-play team, now let me show you the second free-to-play friendly team. And I did not change the name actually. It is able to do around 200 million damage as well. So first, let me show you their stats real quick and their artifacts. You can see the talents here as well. And then I will give you two important notes for this team. The first note is that I'm using Adolphus in this team, and Adolphus just helps so much. He is such a strong hero. He is very important for this team to reach the 200 million mark. But of course, if you already use another wild team, if you plan to use the same wild team that I've been using, then you already used your Adolphus, so you don't have Adolphus for this team. Then you could just swap Adolphus with Liko. Liko also is very good for this boss. I really like her because first she can place those small defense up buffs, but only single target, so it is not that strong, but it is about her ultimate. First, she applies buff prohibition or inflicts buff prohibition, which is very nice, because then the boss cannot place a defense up on himself, and also she can dispel one debuff, one buff from the boss. So this is also very, very nice. Just helps you to keep those defense up buffs down. This sounds so weird. So this is why Liko also works instead of Adolphus, but of course she does not heal so much as Adolphus. She does not help you to stay alive for the whole 8 minutes, because with this team I can stay alive for 8 minutes, while with Liko I can only survive for like something between 6 and 7 minutes. And we really want to maximize our damage to stay alive for as long as possible. Another extremely nice thing about Adolphus is that he places a lot of shields. So first he can use the Aurelium Vest, which is so good, just helps you to stay alive. And also, since he places so many shields, he is the perfect hero for the Skycode treaty set once again. So now we don't remove the defense up from the boss, but instead remove the attack downs from our heroes, thanks to Adolphus and the Skycode treaty set. So in the end, Adolphus definitely is better than Liko, but you can use Liko as well. And now let me show you the skill timings real quick. As you can see, nothing special here as well, just the same recast timer for those 3 heroes. And my 2 main damage dealers like Caraman and Tunnelnan right after the hero that applies defense down. But of course, a lot of room for improvement for those teams. You could use Felicity instead of Folly, and you could use every wild damage dealer instead of Caraman and Tunnelnan. And just overall, Tunnelnan deals more damage than Caraman, so the first hero that I would swap is Caraman. And that's it pretty much. I'm not sure if I showed you the stats. I think I showed you the stats. Let me show you the stats really quick once again. And that's it. Now, here for showcase purpose, this is the best damage that I was able to deal with this team, but there is a lot of RNG involved with this team. As you can see, sometimes it only deals like 160 million damage, while sometimes, as you can see, it deals up to 200 million damage. So another extremely strong team. I really like this team. I really like that those two epic heroes can deal so much damage. But yeah, I don't like Wild in general because there is so much RNG. And just one more thing. You could use, I'm using the Arcane Music Box because it provides a little bit of crit rate, but it is absolutely not recommended. There are many better artifacts out there for your damage dealers. Now on Tunnelman, I'm using the Whisper of the Consumer. And for example, the Flame Tongue, of course, would be way better, would help me to reach those 200 million marks way easier. Probably even the Eyeball of the Giant would be better. Then I just have to get a little bit more crit rate from the gear. But yeah, just to sum this up real quick, here as well is a lot of room for improvement. And I'm very confident that you will reach the 200 million mark with this team here as well. And that's it. I hope that I've mentioned everything. If I forget to mention something, please let me know in the comments below. And if you're watching this video like 1 or 2 days later, it is always worth it to check the comments below, especially the pinned comment, because if there are some small adjustments or if I forgot to mention something, I will pin it in the comment below. But well, that's it for today's video. I really hope that you found this at least a little bit useful. And as always, if you have some feedback, some additional tips or some criticism, let me know in the comments below. And that's it for today's video. Thanks for stopping by and see you in the next one.